Okay, I don't care what your views are on what COVID was, whether it was a psyop, whether it wasn't, whether it was real, whether it was fake. At the end of the day, the moral of the story is that COVID was literally the biggest gift from God, the biggest blessing we could have ever received. And I'm going to sit down here so that I can explain what I mean by that. And now, when you're looking at it from either side of wherever you land, whether you believe that it was fake and it was just one big setup and it wasn't real, or whether you believe that it was a real thing and it was harming millions and millions of people and it was a tragedy, there is one rule at the end of the day that you can implement into everything in your life, and this one rule applies to COVID. And that's that anytime you have a substantial or even minor inconvenience, problem, mess up, anything that happens in your life, what does not kill you makes you stronger. And since COVID literally caused the entire world to shut down all at once pretty much, it locked us all inside. But what did that show us? It showed us that this society is resilient enough to be able to be everyone to be thrown in their homes by the government, locked down, not allowed to leave, forced to wear a mask that doesn't do anything, and that we can still come back from it, recover, and become stronger. We can realize that there is a problem, and that even if you do think that COVID is real, you can look at it from the perspective of something happened to me and now I learned how to adapt and I am better. And if you look at it from the perspective that I more follow of it was a psyop, well, guess what? Now we have seen the government lock us all down, lock us in our house, try to take things away from us, and people have woken up from it and realized that we need to do something about our lives. And that statement works for any point of view. That's why it's the biggest blessing, gift from God that we could have gotten. Because before COVID happened, where were we all in life? We were just kind of having fun. We didn't know that we were lost. I gotta move this pillow real quick. We didn't know that we were lost. We were just kind of enjoying life. We might have been depressed, might have still had anxiety, whatever it may be. Typical life problems. And then we all got shut down. And when we saw what it's like to have everything taken away from us. And then we were given it all back. And some people were still left feeling hollow, feeling like they don't know what to do with their lives. And it's not that something in particular was actually taken away from you. It's that you just woke up. You realized that this whole worldview that you had built was a complete lie. All the lies you were telling yourself, saying that it's okay that I eat all this junk, and it's okay that I go and I beat off, it's okay that I watch porn, it's okay that I do this, it's okay that I do that. You realized that all that does is creates a shell of the person you are meant to be. Because during COVID, when you couldn't do anything, what did you feel like? You felt like a shell of the person you were supposed to be. And now you still probably feel like a shell of the person you were supposed to be. Do you see where I'm going with this? And the great thing about it is, since we were given this opportunity of COVID, when you look at it from this lens, we can finally decide, what are we going to do about it? Are we going to continue to allow it to burn us over and over and over again? Or are we going to actually make a change and do something with our lives? Are we going to actually start going to bed on time when we need to? Get up in the morning when we don't want to? Get ourselves in the gym when we don't feel like it? Put down the fast food when we want to eat it? Eat the healthy food when we don't want to? Stay hydrated when you don't feel like drinking water? Practice good habits when you don't feel like practicing good habits? Doing things that you do not want to do is the only thing that builds you into becoming the person you need to become. Because every single thing that you thought was sinking you, that you thought was making you drown, was in fact teaching you how to swim. And you thought that COVID was trying to make you drown. You thought that COVID ruined you. It made you broke. It made you lose your job, your relationship, whatever it may be. It was just teaching you how to swim. It was just teaching you that even with a drastic problem in life, you can still come back. But it's like you've just forgotten that. You've just allowed it to wash away at sea. Why? It's because you fell back into the comfort and you realize that it is so uncomfortable and it sucks to do the things that we don't want to do. But every single one of you watching this video knows that to do the things that you don't want to do, to practice the good habits, that is going to make you happier. Even if you don't truly understand how much happier it will make you, how much more fulfilled it will make you, how much more proud of yourself it will make you, you understand that it will, at a bare minimum, make you feel slightly better. But the reason you're not willing to do it is because you're calculating the amount of effort you will have to put in for the amount of feel better you will get. And even if you will only get a little bit of feel better, just having that little bit of feel better is going to put you in a better situation. And you know that is for damn sure. So why aren't you doing it? It's because something is still wrong. And whether that's something that you understand or you don't, I want to talk about that in this video. Because anytime we are having like any kind of struggle with consistency, it really comes down to, I mean, it's simple, but it's basic. You know, it's like you can look at it from the lens of, okay, what does your life look like as a whole? Is it just messed up as a whole? And if it is, then, you know, there's a lot of things you need to fix. But if your life is pretty good, you know, you have a stable job, your rent isn't that expensive, or you can afford it, or you live with your parents, you know, you were raised and you grew up in not too bad of a household, you know, you might feel like you have no reason to feel the way you do. And maybe that's why you feel the way you do. It's because you feel like the feelings you are feeling are feelings that you do not deserve to feel because other people have it worse. But the only reason you're feeling the feelings that you're feeling is because of the way you are living, the actions you are doing. Because no matter what, no matter how good or bad your situation is, if you are practicing certain habits, you're going to feel a certain way. And that's just a fact. So the reason you are feeling a certain way is because of the certain things you're doing, okay? And since we're talking, but you're not sitting here in front of me actually. So I can't diagnose your exact problems over this camera, through this YouTube video. But what I can do is I can take a look at my life and you can reflect on my life and what fits in for my life that might fit into your life. And in my life, the biggest problems that continuously have come up in the past and still come up occasionally and I have to fix are, I'll wake up in the morning and just feel absolutely terrible. I'll be tired. I'll either sleep in and just not hear my alarm, or I'll snooze a bunch of times. I go to the fridge and I really know I shouldn't eat. I really don't want to eat. But everything is telling me, just, dude, go eat the bowl of cereal. Go eat this. Go eat that. You know, even if it's a healthy item. Oh, yeah, just go eat that because, you know, it's healthy. Why not? But I know I shouldn't be eating. But it's like the cravings are literally like schizophrenic voices speaking to me. Being like, you know, eat me, eat me. It's not literally. It's a figure of speech. But you understand what I'm talking about. Or it's like, you know, you're trying to do a season of no-fap, you know, or you're just trying to permanently stop beating it. And you start doing so good. And then out of nowhere, it's just like the thought comes in your mind. And you're just like, you know, That'd be kind of cool to do, but it's stupid. I don't need to do it. But then it starts creeping in more. And it's like, damn. It would kind of be nice to just, turn off my brain and go wink it for a minute. And then next thing you know, you're falling back into the trap. And then you tell yourself, oh, it was just this one time, I'm done. But it's never just that one time. It's never. And it happens again and again. And before you even know it, you get stuck in the cycle. But the only reason, the cycle continues is because there was a point in time where it was just one time, and then there's another long streak of not doing it. Whether that was wanking it, whether that was eating, whether that was sleeping in for one day, whatever it may be. I did something at some point, and it was fine, and it didn't cause a problem. And since it didn't cause a problem that one time, it's like I suddenly expected that every time there should be no problem. And I know that's not true, but it's like I want it to be true, so I try my hardest to make it true. But it's not. And all that does is it's just me trying to force a reality onto myself that I frankly don't even want to live. And then it's like by the time you try to make it true, you're already so deep down the rabbit hole that you're like, dude, what am I even doing? Why am I winking it every night all of a sudden? Why am I stuffing my face? Why am I staying up late? Why am I not waking up in the morning every single morning? And every single time I've had any problem, it pretty much comes back to one thing for the most part. And now there's always going to be one specific thing that fixes one kind of problem. But as a whole, okay, anytime I have problems waking up in the morning, put myself to sleep, problems with eating, problems with lust, problems with being able to get myself to the gym, problems with doing my cardio, it's because I'm allowing it to be a negotiable thing. I'm allowing negotiation to happen in my mind. And I'm trying to test the waters to see where can I find a balance. How much of it can I do and how much of it can I not? And I'm trying to find what the tipping point is. Because it's like in my mind, I'm hoping that if I find the tipping point, I'll know when I've gone too far. And I'll know that I can go to that tipping point, but as long as I don't cross it, I'll be okay. But the problem is it's addiction. It's impossible to find that tipping point. Because every time you find that tipping point, it already tips over. And you never know where the tipping point is until it tips over. And the second that you recover, you forget where the tipping point is because you got so lost in it. And the only way to keep myself on point is if I just tell myself that there are certain things I do that are non-negotiable. And so that I'm not living this drill sergeant life that I absolutely hate, they still have guidelines, okay? So a negotiable thing would be like, all right, I go to the gym Monday through Thursday or Monday through Friday, depending on what my training is. Sometimes Monday through Saturday. And it's a non-negotiable. I have to go unless I slept X amount of hours or less. If I slept 2 hours or less, then, okay, let me back up real quick. I wake up an hour or two before I need to even be awake in the morning when I go to work, on my work days. So that's the preface of this, so that way we're not jumping all over the place. But since I wake up a couple hours before, it gives me that ability to have those guidelines of, okay, if I went to bed and, I have 3 hours or less of sleep, then I can sleep in an extra 1 hour or 2 hours if being awake is something that's going to be important for this day. And now that is exactly where it gets extremely dangerous. Because once again, I am still somewhat pushing it to the tipping point. But I'm only going 25 30% of the way there. I'm not pushing myself all the way to the tipping point. And since I'm not pushing myself all the way to the tipping point, it gives me room to breathe, but it allows me to stay dialed. It allows my life to still have that aesthetic lifestyle that I want, but I don't fall off. Because if you're just straight drill sergeant disciplined, you feel proud of yourself. And you'll never feel more proud of yourself when you are just the most drill sergeant disciplined person that you could possibly be. And I have done that. And sometimes that is what you need to do for 3 or 6 month periods of times. But no matter what, if you live that drill sergeant lifestyle every single day of your life, around the clock, around the year, you are going to burn yourself out and you're gonna start to hate life. And even though you'll be proud of yourself, you're gonna start to wonder, what am I even doing this for? Because when the guidelines get so tight, you get tunnel vision, but you forget what you're doing as a whole. So it's like, say your goal is to get down to a 6-pack, and you want to be, you want to gain a little muscle, but you also want to get a new job. You're gonna get so dialed in on hitting those goals, but in the process of hitting those goals, you get lost in what the goal even was. And it's like, you're gonna hit the goal, but as soon as you hit the goal, you just kind of keep on going in the same direction. You never pause and say, hold on, okay, we hit the goal, where do we go now? And being able to pause and say, okay, we hit the goal, where do we go now? That just comes with understanding yourself, understanding how to set goals, understanding how to live a lifestyle you want to live, understanding what your goals are. Because if you have no goals, then you're just going to keep on going in a straight line. And that straight line might be forward, but you might need to go forward and a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right to actually hit the trajectory. If you're still here, then I hope I'm making sense to you, because my goal is to change as many lives as possible. And if you are still watching this far, I don't ask super often, but I'm just going to ask that you drop a subscribe and check out some of my other videos, because if you're still watching this far, you are truly relating to me. And you are truly having these problems. And here's the thing that I want you to fully understand. You 100% can get through it. You just need to assess what is going on in your life and what do you need to do. Because if your life has certain problems, then you might need that drill sergeant lifestyle for a little bit. But you also need to be very, very specific on your goals and where you want to go. And you also need to know that the second you hit that goal, you need to reassess. You need to figure out, okay, what is next? And you're going to feel a little bit down. You're going to get a little demotivated the second you hit the goal. Especially when you're in drill sergeant mode. But as long as you know how to reposition and reset and aim for a new goal, that motivation, that drive, it's never going to go away. And too many people are like, oh, well then, that means I'm just chasing after one thing or another. I'm never fully satisfying myself. And it's like, the purpose of life is to become the best version of yourself. And if becoming the best version of yourself means that you hit a series of goals over and over and over until the very end of your life, that's an amazing life. And if the way to be happy is to live as many days in a row as your ideal days, you could live the most perfect lifestyle if you have goals and you align those goals in a way where you can accomplish them and still live every single day to the fullest and live every single day in the way that would make you the happiest. And just because every single day wasn't perfect. Doesn't mean that, it's a problem. But don't let one bad day, one bad season ruin a whole year for you. Don't let it ruin a whole lifetime for you. Because it's easy to get lost in the sauce. Really is. But all you have to do is set a goal, assess your life, and decide what are you going to do. And the second you get anxiety about what should those goals be, what action should I take, the second you get stuck in that analysis paralysis and you don't know where to go, I want you to do one thing. Just take action. Go to bed on time that day. Wake up on time the next day. Go to the gym and do something that works towards a goal you have in your life. That could be something simple as cleaning your room. Whatever it is, work on a goal. And I can promise you that you're going to feel better after that. And do that again and again and again. And even if you don't know what your goal is right away, that is not a reason to not start taking action. Because then you just get stuck once again in analysis paralysis. Oh, what's my goal? What should I do? Start taking action. While you're taking action, define your goals. Get healthy. Get well slept. Make some moves. And it's time to change your life. And if any of you guys are still lost, still need help, need something more direct, something more one-on-one, this is exactly what I do. I coach guys. I take them from wherever their situation is right now and transform them so they can actually live that aesthetic, ideal lifestyle that they want to live. A life that they're proud of. And become a person that is actually happy with what they are doing. I love you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. You can go find my Instagram in the description and the pinned comment on this video. That's where you can go hit me up over there. Drop a follow on the Instagram as well. I'm always posting stories every day, reels, dropping tips, hacks, mindset, habits, diet, training, PEDs, whatever it may be. You want to know it? I'll teach you. Just drop a DM. And if you have a problem, literally ask me. Ask me anything and I will answer. All I want to do is help. Once again, I love you guys. Enjoy the rest of the day. Have an awesome one.